Imagine working 12-hour shifts in a filthy mining camp, just to come back and find your soaking wet clothes dumped on a dirty bench by some arrogant jerk who thinks they own the place. But what happens when the wrong guy gets messed with? Let's just say, things got messy. And chocolatey. If you've ever wanted to serve a sweet dose of karma to someone who thought they could walk all over you, hit that like button, subscribe, and buckle up, because this story is as satisfying as it is sticky. Let me take you to the middle of nowhere, a remote mining site where the days are long, the people are, let's say, quirky, and the laundry situation? An absolute nightmare. I work in remote mining, which basically means you get to meet every character imaginable. From guys who talk to rocks like they're old friends, to supervisors who seem to think they're the gods of dirt and dust. Now, amongst this wild bunch, I've always considered myself the normal one. But even I wasn't prepared for the chaos that was about to unfold. It all started during the final days of a construction project. Everything temporary was being packed up and shipped out, including our already limited washing machines and dryers. Imagine this, you work 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, for 3 weeks straight. Your clothes, soaked in sweat, dust, and grime. The only salvation? That one precious washer and dryer left standing. The routine was sacred. After a grueling shift, you'd throw your clothes in the washer, have dinner, then dry them while sipping a couple of beers before crashing into bed. Simple, right? Wrong. You see, the washer takes about 25 minutes. The dryer? A painful 90 minutes. So, naturally, there's a constant backlog of people, and their soggy clothes, waiting their turn. And while most of us respected the unwritten code of remove your dry clothes so others can live, there were always those people. The entitled ones. The ones who thought the rules didn't apply to them. The unspoken agreement was simple. If your clothes are dry and you're not around, they'll be respectfully placed on the bench so someone else can use the machine. Annoying, but fair. But every once in a while, some absolute cockwomble, yes, I'm using that word, would get impatient and dump someone else's still dripping wet clothes onto the bench just to shove their own in. On the night before flyout day, the busiest, most stressful laundry night, I was hanging out in the laundry room, watching the final minutes tick down on my dryer. That's when Richard walked in. Now, Richard wasn't just any supervisor. He was infamous. The kind of guy who didn't need to yell to be scary. His very presence felt like a brewing storm. You avoided being on his bad side like your life depended on it. Richard strode in, glanced at the dryer, and froze. His clothes weren't inside. Instead, they were sitting in a wet, cold heap on the metal bench, water still dripping onto the floor. For a moment, there was silence. I could see the vein in his temple pulsing. His jaw clenched so tight I thought his teeth might shatter. And yet, without saying a word, Richard turned around and left. Now, I thought, wow, that's surprisingly mature. Maybe he's changed. Oh, how wrong I was. Exactly 5 minutes later, Richard storms back in. His boots pounding the floor like war drums. But now, he's holding 2 Mars bars in his hand, ripped from their wrappers, chocolate already softening in the heat of his grip. With the precision of a man who had done this before, he marches straight to the dryer currently humming away, the one that had stolen his spot. No hesitation. No drama. He tears open the dryer door, snaps the 2 Mars bars in half, and tosses them inside. The chunks of chocolate hit the spinning clothes with a sickening thud. Richard slams the dryer shut, twists the timer to a full 90 minutes on the highest heat, and presses start. The machine roared to life, blissfully unaware of the chocolatey carnage it was about to unleash. Our eyes met briefly. He gave me a subtle nod, not of acknowledgement, but of silent warning. I grabbed my now dry clothes, gathered my things, and left without a word. And that, my friends, is how you execute sweet, sweet revenge without even raising your voice. What happened to the owner of those clothes? Nobody knows for sure. But let's be honest, mining camp gossip spreads faster than wildfire. I heard whispers of someone raging about their gear being ruined. Chocolate melted, sticky, utterly destroyed, as if a Mars bar massacre had taken place inside their laundry. But here's the thing, in a workforce of thousands, with people constantly flying in and out, it's easy for such accidents to disappear into the chaos. No official complaints. No investigations. Just an unspoken lesson echoing through the camp. There's always a bigger dickhead out there. Revenge doesn't always need grand gestures. Sometimes, it's the little things, like a melted Mars bar, that serve the sweetest justice. Respect is earned, but when people forget that, well, chocolate remembers. If this story made you grin just a little too much, smash that like button. Drop a comment below. What's the most savage revenge you've ever witnessed? And of course, subscribe for more stories where karma hits just right.